No, it's not contagious. It's just lack of execution by the individual at that particular time. It's not it's not anything that's you can't explain in terms of like being something from space or anything like that. It's not a misexecution by the person who dropped in each individual time. What happens is if three guys drop one, that's a lot. To the individual, he says, it's one mistake. But collectively, that's too many. Even one is too many. But if three guys drop one, well, that's three drops. That's too many. So it's not contagious. It's a bad deal. It's the coach and I got to get them right.
Hey, Keith, there was a situation late in the fourth quarter when I think you went for it on fourth down and there was a drop, but DeMornay and Stanley were on the sidelines. Was that by design, or was there would you have liked to have had those key guys out there on a down like that in that situation, or was that just the play call? Or?
No, that was third down.
Third down, okay.
No, that was that kid. That was his turn. That was his rep. He had been practicing that play the whole week, and so he was out. He was out there.
This is how you guys rotate in those situations, okay?
Yeah.
Talking about the film being rough. Other than the drops, what stood out to you from the game?
Just small things at that point. In terms of some of the routes. Just assignment wise, things that you want to just correct in general. Besides just the major impactful aspects like a drop, but releases, things of that nature, sharpness of a route here or there, that type of stuff.
Hey, is Keon? Is he getting closer to getting back, or how's he doing?
I think this week could be the week. So that's my understanding.
Like play against Rutgers, or
we'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll see tomorrow. Yeah.
It's been pretty frustrating for him because this is a kind of recurring issue.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I think it might be inherited. So my hamstrings are like guitar strings. They're not even hamstrings. I got more like guitar strings. So I just said, son, I apologize.
How much of a concern is depth for you guys?
It's a concern, and just in terms of you want everybody healthy, regardless of what the situation is. So depth is a concern just in general, because when you have multiple guys banged up, that's never good. But other than that, everybody who goes out there is prepared to play and play at their best, and that's all you can ask.
I'll talk to Coach Riley about finding ways to help out the offensive line if it's struggling. From a wideout perspective, how do you guys go about maybe helping them along if they're in a struggling spot?
We don't necessarily worry about we just worry about our assignment. If our assignment, involves the O-line in some way, then that's how we worry about it. Other than that, we just worry about our job.
With DeMornay and Stanley being almost very consistent game after game, 100-yard receiving days and such, Riley talked about how important it is for leaders to kind of take a leadership role when times are tough like this. Have you seen DeMornay and Stanley kind of embrace that a little bit as leaders and as playmakers right now?
Yes, to some degree, but they need to lead themselves too. Nobody is exempt from getting yourself right first. First of all, I'll be the leader to set the tone, and then they go from there, because they need to take care of themselves, because they didn't have perfect games either. But in general, from a player's perspective, they do a great job in that way, by example and verbally. So they understand that part, and they lead by correction also. Like they lead by being accountable for their own mistakes and showing how to move forward and correct that with themselves, and then the other guys see that and follow suit.
On that first pick six, what did you guys get after looking at that first pick six? Was there something that your guys could have done different in that situation, just kind of watching that play out of the way that guy played it and jumped it, or was it just a good football play and he read it perfectly?
It was a great play by that kid. If looking back at it, Stan could have maybe been a little more aware of the fact that the kid was in press coverage. But, they hadn't showed anything like that, and I don't know if I've ever seen a play where the corner just comes off press and goes straight to the ball on the bubble. So, there wasn't anything blatantly there that Stan could have just known to do at that point. But obviously, moving forward, we'll take note of that. But, just being really, really critical and nitpick, Stan definitely could have maybe got a piece of that guy. But that kid anticipated, shot in there. That was a great play by him.
How is a guy like Tyjon handling kind of the first few weeks of being a college football player, the games routine, kind of maybe not getting as much action as what he was used to in high school?
He's handling it well. he understands. See, the thing is that, you know, he understands it's a process. He and I never had a conversation where he thought he was going to come in and just, you know, win the Biletnikoff in the first 3 weeks. So he understands the process. He knows he has a lot to learn. He wants to learn. He's eager. He's ambitious. He's you know, he's professional. He's diligent. He's all the things you want him to be off the field in terms of his approach. So he's handling it fine.
Coach Riley was talking today about, you know, you guys as coaches over the weekend talking about maybe tweaking your process, how you get the lesson plans ready for practice, that sort of thing. That would go this week. Can you maybe speak to any of those tweaks or changes you guys made coming into today?
Just be as detailed as you can on the preparation in terms of the looks that you're setting up, and make sure everybody's on the same page. You know, as far as what each play entails and the options, and, you know, the way we're approaching each play, just make sure everybody's on the same page every single time.
What have you seen from Rutgers as far as how they'll attack you guys defensively this week?
They got, secondary-wise, they got big corners, physical, veteran guys, great size. They play hard, so I think they'll challenge us.
Are you expecting? I mean, until you guys prove you can handle the press and get off it, I mean, do you expect a lot of people to keep throwing a lot of press at you guys in situations?
Maybe. I mean, we haven't had that much of a problem getting off press. It's making the play after that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Rutgers has shown to play some press, so I'm quite sure that they won't deviate from that for us. So, I guess the answer to that would be yes.
DeMornay, it seems like when he's targeted, he's come down with the ball, you know, at a really high clip this year. How have you seen him improve maybe in that capacity from last year to this year especially?
Well, this year he's been healthy. Last year he was never really himself health-wise. And this year he's in another mindset. You know, guys get older. They get a new perspective. They mature. They digress. That's mainly his health and being able to move like he previously did, and him just being a year older and learning from those experiences, I think is the answer to that.
With recruiting, I mean, you have a couple guys committed to you. Do you have to have conversations with those guys when you kind of have maybe what's considered a surprising loss on Saturday? Like, is there ever some concern that maybe guys might be a little shook by what happened on the field?
No, not really. Because hopefully you're recruiting guys that understand the big picture. So no, not really. Not in terms of concern. You might have a conversation about the game, just, you know, maybe talking to them about, you know, what happened in the game, good or bad, but not necessarily concern in terms of, you know, them wavering just because of that.
Is that the same when you have guys that are visiting or on campus for a game like that?
Pretty much. That's the way I approach it.